too old. It's a bit heavy.
This is Umar for BoxNation. We just at the weigh-ins for Beterbiev Bivol, but I want to talk about Teddy Atlas's words on this man. I sent it to you today, Frank. What did you think?
Look, Teddy's very, very highly respected. That's why he's here. You know, he's one of the great trainers and he's one of the great boxing men, boxing brains. And as being involved and being promoter of Hamzah, I am so proud what he said about him. It's it's a great accolade from a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest trainers of modern day boxing.
Absolutely, Hamzah. I guess you echo those words.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, I think before anyone was banging on about my talent, it was this man here. Do you know what I mean? It's this man here. He gave me the opportunity to do it in the UK on platforms which I never even dreamt of being given then. So all I got to do now is prove him right, and now I'm in touching distance of becoming a superstar in the sport.
Frank, I know you rate him so highly. I mean, you describe him as the British Tommy Hearns, but even with your estimations about it, did you think his rise would be this quick?
Look, what Hamzah just said is quite true. He came in and maybe didn't come in heralded as like an Olympian and so forth, but I'll tell you what he's done. He's taken advantage of every opportunity he's had, and he's shown what he's about in the ring, because that at the end of the day is where it counts. You can say all the stuff outside the ring, it's what you do, it's your deeds, that's what matters. And each fight he's had, he's got better and better and better. And Teddy did say something, it's a bit like cometh the hour, cometh the man. And that is it. When the big opportunity arrives, when you're on that big stage, that's when you find out. And up to now, he's done everything. And I believe he will go on and go to the next level. And it's the journey then. If he comes through that, it's the journey of unifying belts, moving up a weight. He's a young man. He's got a great career ahead of him. And he's meticulous in all he does in his preparation for fights. And that's shown throughout.
He lives a life, doesn't he?
Of course he does, and that's the only way you can do it. There's no shortcuts in boxing. You only get into boxing what you get by up to there on talent, and the rest of it is dedication, and that's what makes you a special fighter. And he's a dedicated fighter. So
Janabek Adames, where are we at with that situation?
There's that to consider. There's a couple of options to consider, and we'll be looking at them, and we'll be making a decision in the next 4 or 5 days.
Hamzah, but you welcome either Janabek or Adames next?
Either or. Listen, I've never been someone who... Or both on the same night. No, but whatever Frank and the team say, that's how it's been for the last however many fights of my whole career. So all I've got to do is listen to these guys here and just carry on proving them right and doing them proud.
One day when he does go up to super middleweight, in a couple of years, are we targeting that Canelo Alvarez fight?
Look, there was talk of it, weren't there, earlier this year, and for me, it would have been going up a weight, and it would have been enough that it would have been, I'm not being disrespectful, too soon, but he's growing. Look at the size of him. I don't know if he makes the weight anyway. It's a matter of time. And good fighters, certainly in this day and age, they go through the weight divisions and go up and achieve their dreams. Joe Kawasaki did it, went up through the weights. There's plenty of fighters quality fighters have done that, and he's a quality fighter.
Lastly, Frank, Chris Eubank Jr. in the week spoke to TNT Sports. Spoke to TNT Sports. They asked him about Hamzah. He said he won't fight Hamzah because he's a nobody.
Said the 35-year-old guy
who's never won a world title.
Who's what is he known for? I don't know what he's known for. Listen, we'll find out if he's a somebody or not. One thing's for sure, they don't want to mix up their wages. He'll know who's a somebody and who's not.
There you go, you heard it from the man.
It's those pay packets out, he'll know who's the boss.
Well, Frank said that he actually never found out about the 5 million, like his people didn't tell him about it.
That's what he told me, and that's the only reason I said if that is the case, then me saying there's 2 ways to avoid a fight, which is not taking it or pricing yourself out, and you didn't know about it, fair enough. But his connections knew about it, his promoter knew about it, and the guy who's with him knew about it. So I don't know what to say about that. That's down to them.
Hamzah, do you think if you win a world title that he'll be forced to take that?
I mean,
do you know what? That ship may have sailed by then. That ship may have sailed. You know when you see one of them buses come along and you put your arm out and it don't stop, that's what's going to be. And as he goes past, we'll all be going like that.
What did you make of his encounter with Conor Benn today?
Was that me?
No, to you, Hamzah.
Yeah, interesting. Listen, Conor Benn, he's a hothead, isn't he? He's a hothead. He's a mate of mine as well, but he is a hothead. But once a fight like that has been cancelled so close, there's nothing but animosity there. So I think whenever they see each other, that's always going to happen until they get in the ring with each other.
What about you, Frank? What did you think of it?
It was what it was, you know. The facts of the matter is, until it's all resolved with UCAD, which I hope is going to be done in the next week or so, from what I'm hearing, then it can't take place. But once that's done, then we'll see what happens and what weight it's going to be and so forth. It's an interesting and intriguing fight. But you know, look, there's a man here who fight both of them.
Yep.
You know, they're great domestic fights to have. And Denzel. Some great fights to be made there. It's great fights to be made. And I certainly know Conor would step up.
Hamzah, what, you know, the European ordered that fight with Denzel. He's number 2 with a WBO number 1.
Yep.
I know you're looking to world titles. There's talks about Canelo in a couple of years, Eubank Jr.
Yep.
Would you take Denzel next or not?
Of course. I mean, why not? It all depends on what's next, but I think a world title would be the sensible thing to do. But if, God forbid, for whatever reason, I didn't get an opportunity, I think he'd be the man next in line.
Do you believe you stopped Denzel Bentley?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, I won't ask you about that. I'll leave you. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers, Hamzah.
Cheers.